Hi again. I think you're just gonna have to OD on me. I don't know. I'm trying here. I'm trying. We're using the Navigator's Tarot of the Mystic Sea. Welcome back to my practitioners of love and light. I'm focused on incremental progress. That's what's going on here. Okay, let's get these cards here. 2 of Cups, Harmony, 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, and 7 of Pentacles. All right. I think... What are you trying to show me here, Spirit? Because I'm just... Dude. Sometimes, I don't know, I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot sometimes. But, that's just what it feels like. But then at the same time, I'm just listening to whatever Spirit's telling me to do. Like my guides. They told me. It was like, no. I even tried challenging it throughout this morning. Like going to other people's readings. Like just scanning. And I'm like, no, nothing vibes. Like on purpose. And I don't know if it's other people respecting my space. Like my wishes on that. Because... after I started feeling like blue and thought, like worded it in my head that, gosh, I'm just not vibing with anybody's readings today. Or nothing seems to match. I guess that's the way it's supposed to be. That's when instantaneously it all came through. And I don't want to undo things that are supposed to be done, And so I didn't visit them. I felt kind of bummed because, on the first 3 attempts that I tried, Spirit protected me, and I felt like that was good, but I just kept challenging it. And then it came through, and then I got bummed again. That means that I'm not listening to Spirit, and Spirit just kind of, backed off because I was purposefully challenging things. I just didn't, I don't know. I have a lot of distractions in my head right now. I don't. So, I went back to, incremental progress, and, I'm there. I'm gonna keep going with it. I didn't get to go out yet today, but, I'm not going to discount any, progress made today, because I took today off as for a purpose, and so far I got some things done, but it's just, that, I guess I'm so used to having, sorry, give me a second. Okay. I'm so used to having instant gratification when it comes to immediate resolve, especially after receiving readings like those that I just got. And so I'm just a very just a little confused here as far as what I did what I checked a few things off my list as far as even the courtesy of follow-ups, and it totally feels like carrot and stick. That's what this feels like. This is the pentacle energy is the stick, and the carrot is the 2 of Cups. And I'm not trying to complain here. I'm just trying to figure maybe I'm just like too up in my feels or like in my head. I don't know. So I'm trying to remember the last part of the last reading, or like that I think I have one in archive that I haven't posted yet. And it's not to like overthink things, because that could make room for self-sabotage. And I looked at, like, when I did the divination for the music, it repeated itself on my playlist. So I know, and alongside another reaffirming one that told me that people are getting like immediate karma. So maybe like I just need to take it easy when it comes to my divine team, that maybe that immediate gratification part, where things are balancing or things are balanced out, I'm just getting notifications of it like one by one, that I just need to be patient with it. That's all, because a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. And when I mentioned something about the conglomerate like firms being involved within the last reading, that like I have to understand the trickle, or not the trickle, the ripple effect that that it trickles from the top, basically. And so I may be seeing the effects of that, and there just needs to be some kind of like quieting of storms when it comes to the hierarchy. And I have to trust that everything has polarity, and there's good in places that seem corrupt. So anyway, that's what that feels like right over here. That things are like moving up from like the halfway point, 5 to 6 to 7, but like 7 of Pentacles is like you can't pick at those scabs. You just gotta like wait it out. Okay. Okay. Like I even took off my sweater and did some like laundry and like changed some, changed this, whatever. I don't need to go through the freaking list. But I thought instead of being like warm and cozy, that like, because it's cold in the house, that it'll make me like move around. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. No. It's over here. Inversion, suspension, and it's also inverted. Okay, so this is the Hanged Man in muted form. The suspense for reals. This is like very quieted behavior. I'm getting like this, like very much is like the carrot and stick. Maybe like I don't want to speak ahead of myself, but it may like it saying that spirit is saying that I'm a carrot and stick almost. I don't even know what that means. So like, what's on my left toe here? Toes. 7 of Wands pronounced, 4 of Wands pronounced, and then Ace of Swords pronounced. Yep, that's the truth of it. When it comes to like home and hearth and leverage, like people want what I've got. That's probably why it's like freaking crickets out there. Like the haterdom is real, but also, when it comes to people wanting to match that energy and be and like onboard me to the same team, they want to be able to match something where I'll be happy to stay. Yeah. I mean, that's what you do in HR when it comes to putting together like a package, it's not just like a welcome package, but where they kind of like propose a rate, the structure of like the benefits. That's what it's called. The like overall benefits package, and perhaps this felt like, since this was on my receptive side, I mean, this is high wisdom. Ace of Swords. It's breathing room. You see respiration. And it's also being able to have like, what is it? It's being able to be prominent within your energy, so much so that you're saving your breath. It's being concise with your energy. So it's like the firmness of its actuality. And then Four of Wands, we're seeing, it's an absolute pleasure to, have you around, Tina. I know. Actually, thank you. And then, so Seven of Wands, that's strength, that's fortitude. When like waves come crashing, are you going to fear it, or are you going to like see what can you make out of that opportunity? Because when that happens, you see like all of these things afloat. Like, usually this is a fisherman as portrayed, but you see that I spy like a crowd of fish. What do you call that? A school of fish, basically in the sky. So it's making, maximizing the opportunities of when, like the forces of nature hit. Yeah, this is good. That's leverage on its own, like knowing what to do. So what fell beside my foot is King of Swords in reverse and Ten of Cups in reverse. This is either somebody who's like narcissistic, like very irresponsible with their authority and their tongue, who is also, because of that, very unhappy, or I think it's like a bilateral exchange. Somebody that's supremely unhappy, that doesn't know what will make them truly happy, that hasn't attained the Ten of Cups happiness, like a blissful state in a very, very, very long time, if at all. And that motioned him to act within this nature. So that could be like, right beside us. But, it could also mean that, because I don't get the King of Swords in reversal as like underground energy, but being that we've been talking about aerating the soil with the swords as of late, that I feel like there is some underground energy there, that there are some negotiations, some type of, how do I say it? Finagling, like as far as 10 of Cups, it's like in the coming, right? Because it's highly abundant. And it's like a surprise to me that, it's a surprise to me that we got it within a separate deck, like consecutively speaking. So we have purification and accomplishment in reverse. So, I'm hearing like, because of those words, like, you've got to brush that dirt off your shoulder. I don't know what else the lyrics they say to that song, but like you have to get that dirt off your shoulder, and that's how, like when you fall down, you got to like dust off your knees. So like we must have fallen like big time, for some major BS even. So it's like, you got to get that dirt off your shoulder. It's not just on your knees. It's like yay high. And and that's what you have to do when it comes to even making errors. Like, let's say you're stable and you're like happy with what you're doing or whatever, and if you make like there's some big error or something happens, a big fire, like you can't let that keep you down. True leaders get back up and express their like freedom of speech through resilience, like as far as projecting those gestures, like speaking that out, their intentions actively into the universe. Part of manifestation as we move along. So these last cards are here are 7 of Swords muted and 8 of Swords muted. And I think those 2 cards go well for speaking of both type of king energies. Because either way, like, that's really good practice. If you're starting from scratch, getting back up all over again, that's a way to go. It's very practical. I mean, you can teach your kid that. You can teach, like, if you're like a coach on, a baseball team or whatever, same thing. Okay, so we have consecutive cards here, 7 and 8 of Swords muted. This is understanding not just our mental capacity, but the having such high standards for ourselves that we know that the attitude we put into things isn't just in like for the delivery of others, how others are to perceive it, but also like within our own experience. So we're not going to invest like dark thoughts and negative seeds planted within our very being as far as like how we feel about ourselves, what our progress is like. And that's hence why we're doing this here. Just kind of like hashing it out, and knowing that like I already invested in some very good things. I don't I the main thing is not overthinking it, like, oh, I didn't ace it here or there, or I didn't ace it because X amount wasn't covered. No, we're thinking more like we're trying to create behaviors that set us up for success. Like, we are our own best man, best woman, whatever. We are our own supportive figures when it comes to that minimalistic point of view, that we could be. So looking at this 7 and 8 of Swords here, it's about getting ourselves stuck with getting up in our head. That's what it is. And like nobody else knows about it unless we like have to engage, because that kind of bleeds through. And it's, even if it seizes us up, it's kind of like an infestation, right? It breeds that energy and holds it captive. But then when we like have to engage with others, it's like there's a lack of awareness of how that bleeds out. So you see like how the swords are like highlighted. It's almost like flashlights, like very direct, like laser point type of like depictions here. Yeah, it's just be very, very aware of your thoughts, your private thoughts especially. And that fell on the far top left corner. And then what 3 fell down here is universe. It's consecration. It's the world card. Ace of Cups, immersion. 9 of Cups, satiety. It's being satiated. And then Knight of Cups, conviction. So you know what? Chivalry is not dead, because you know what? We've romanticized our moment. We've invigorated, fueled by re-examination of like what we deserve within our achievements. Where did we get that? It was somewhere here. Yeah. Accomplishments. Yeah. 10 of Cups in reverse. You got to brush that dirt off your shoulder. And it's being happy. Like, even if you're spent, even if you only took care of, we're only able to take care of like 4 out of the 10 things that you had on your list, or 5. Don't like assess it as like, oh, like a GPA, like a test on the percentage on a test. So it's not like 40% failing. No, this is 40% knocked down, like executed. You don't have to like do that stuff again. Like that part is done. Okay. And you can only take care of like what you're supposed to take care of. So, and that's all relative to where we're at, really. Like what the conditions are like. So, it's being happy with what we've invested in. And because of that, like, we're fully immersed within our moments. We're not denying ourselves of the human experience, because the human condition is partially afflicted by, the conditions of, what's beyond us, as well as, the effects of what we engage in. Okay, so what do we go for versus forego? And so this is like full immersion learning, by understanding that a fraction of it is not just like, it's not encapsulated within the to-do list, and within the action item list. Okay, we are people who have full-on experiences. So this is finding closure with that, like day to day. Yeah, and that everybody, has to go through that formula. Otherwise, without understanding the ratios of what comprises the human existence on a day-to-day level, to get from here to there, is creating imbalance on a granular level, and it's creating like a mountain over a molehill. Like that's like how cancer emerges, like within different stages, to a point where it becomes almost like what do you call it, terminal, so it forces you to find closure sooner than you would have intended, than the divine would have liked for you. So this is excellent, okay? Because we got here for a very good reason. This message is not just for me. This is understanding, where your motions and your emotions can take you. And not saying like, we're not speaking badly of emotions. We're just saying that it's part of the experience. And I feel like this is more of like hitting the refresh button as far as what it looks like when you just kind of zoom out. So bottom of the deck is acquisition, 9 of Pentacles. This is independent happiness, and sustainability. This is being financially stable, financially equipped, financially independent. This is financial wealth when it comes to a singular form. And appreciation, and a continuance of nurturing, moving from the 8 of Pentacles to the 9th one. It's finding that comfort level within what you've manifested. within the tangibles. I do like that. That's very nice. It was so funny. The toes are set on a turtle. So it's just a reminder, looking at that, how we initially started with that trio of pentacle energy, like the carrot and the stick, to here. That is hilarious. And you see like the waves carried through the concrete here? Okay, it wants to do like the top deck. 4 of Cups. It's discontent. My stomach. Oh my gosh. Somebody's grumbling about this. And I don't think it's us, the people that are engaging in this energy. I think it's like no secret that maybe like on the forefront, I did feel kind of like that. But that kind of energy with my stomach grumbling like that, that's those like dark energies. I was going to tell a story, but I'm going to reserve it for later. That's not what we're here for on this front. And, yeah. So let's cut the deck. Oh, it's asking us to do it twice. Okay, 5 of Wands. Yeah, competition. Speaking of that story that I was going to tell you about. And then Hermit, exaltation, going to the dark night of the soul. So perhaps I need to talk about it, just at the very tail end. There's a lot of people who are very like competitive for the wrong reasons, honestly, especially when they project that energy towards you. Like I advanced, I'd say pretty well when it came to like my part-time job. Like I always advance very quickly when it comes to any role that I've taken, any employer, with any employer. And so that naturally like disturbs someone's digestion of what, how that's conceived. And so I remember somebody just like, I don't know, a couple of days ago or just yesterday actually, she said, so who taught you on this? Like a portion of my job, like, and it was delivered like that. And I was thinking, oh, maybe she's just curious about like who I learned from, like what I might know based on, not just my positioning, but like maybe who's entitled to also train, because you move up and you advance in the job pretty quickly. And so you have the capability to do so. And so I'm like, oh, I don't know, a few people. But when I was looking at her, trying to answer her, she wasn't even looking at me. And so I tried to draw names. So I was thinking, oh, maybe she's just like, she had a bad day or whatever it is. There's some other chip, somebody else's chip on her shoulder. And I started naming off names. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's her, and then I think one other person. I just can't really, what about you? And she didn't, when she answered me, she totally blew me off, and she still was. She looked even further away from me. Do you know how crazy that is? Like someone who's like, no. Let's take ego out of the picture and let's just speak facts here. She said, I don't know, there's a few people, I can't remember. And she rolled her eyes. And, that's how I know I'm not to engage in that energy anymore. So the more trash that she decides to like spill over her supposed cup, and vape on her brakes and stuff, like, oh my goodness, it's just like, okay, you are not interested in anything except the level up, laddering up, and you expect to be like elevator, like brought up there yourself. So anyway, it's looking at that as far as people being disgruntled and like wanting to ostracize. How do I say it? Wanting to ostracize you by like the projection of that energy, and you like kind of discounting them. So they don't have to do the work. You'll do the work for them. Just like, meh, no. So that like their hands are clean, you know, kind of. And then we saw the Five of Wands in there, and then the Dark Night of the Soul. This is all because we've shown that we're like capable, competent, and can manifest that through where we're at. So, I mean, that goes anywhere, honestly. But, you know, like, if I were to stay within that realm, I would tailor my communications with her. You know, there's no obligation, knowing her energy, there's no obligation to reciprocate within that energy. I don't need to mirror that really either. I suppose the next time, if there is a next time in conversing with her, if she asks me or she projects that same way again, it's, you can just, I guess I would ask, why do you ask? You know, and then they say, I don't know, just curious. And then I guess I would mirror that energy at that point, since she set the tone. It's like, oh, I don't know, I don't remember, you know. You know, that's it. That's all. Like, I don't need to relinquish any kind of information for her to like prolong that storyline and her seeds, you know, with her supposed peer groups, you know. So it's just understanding, like, being proud of where you're at, like, and knowing like that other energy exists that is absolutely irrelevant to, you know, where we are, you know. We didn't have to depend on the camaraderie or the clique dynamic, that type of I'm hearing poltergeist, that whole type of what is it, politic energy, especially on such a juvenile level. Wow. Yeah. So I think that's really it. So it's just understanding, like, that those experiences also contribute to, you know, wanting to accomplish more, because we don't really want to associate with that energy. Like, it's, so we have something to learn from that type of exposure too. Okay, I'm going to put disconnect into something else. Okay, so I'm going to cut the deck to see what Spirit wants. Okay, right there. It went back to the Hermit. Holy smokes. Yeah, it's going through the Dark Night of the Soul. Understanding what our triggers are. And what the possibilities are as far as navigation. Like, what's the higher ground? And in understanding, like, it's looking at petty energy and knowing that some things are there for you to, like, just sharpen your skill sets in navigation, but also knowing that, like, the solution isn't always cookie cutter. Like, it's not always going to be like you have to transmute this energy. No. Sometimes it's just plain and simple without any added extra magic, you know, that it doesn't come from like a secret place or anything. Sometimes it's just very practical, and you sometimes just go through things with grace. Like, I not only have the aptitude to reserve for something else, but it's just like a no, you know? Like I could say thumbnail or milk went that way, you know, and it would have made just as much sense as me naming off names. That's the funniest part. 3 of Swords, desolation. Really? Like, when people mean ill for you, to like break things apart and have a stab at you, like at your soft spots of like your willingness to like you're wanting to you know, be positioned in like rightfully within your own, and you know, people like are gonna want to knock you down, but it's just so obvious, this energy from a mile away. What day is it today? It's Tuesday, so like a Monday away. You know, in hindsight. Cutting the deck, King of Cups. So that's Spirit in the most loving form. Spirit is basically chaperoning this whole experience. And so, you know, we take things, you know, as they come. And, I mean, like, looking at all of this, I can laugh at it now. Like, oh, gosh, no wonder I started feeling, like, really down about this and that. Like, I felt like I needed to... like I was lacking almost in my accomplishments. And so it's just understanding the experience in its total form. That's all. It's 1:33 on the clock. I got some more things to do, and I'm feeling better now. So I hope that helped you as well. And so thank you to all my supporters, all my sponsors, all the donations given and received in love and light. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so now, upon closing this reading, I close all portals, sending all energies back with their appropriate karma due. This is the good, the bad, like all of the in-betweens, all the many facets of the karma, custom made by your own wielding. And those that, how do I say it? That are immediately like tied to us. They're things that we are meant to be accountable for. Nobody else can take our karma. That's what I'm getting, yeah. Yeah, because a lot of us doing this good work is, you know, have good karma. So do you hear those? The I don't know, not sirens, but the police, you know, sirens, I guess. So anyway, sending all energies back with their appropriate karma due, so there's no confusions, there's no entanglement, there's no cross lines. What's yours is yours, what's mine is mine. And that is all for today. Thank you for respecting my time, my energies, my work in advance. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you for respecting my space, and closing all portals now.